I'm crossing over to the dark side.
What's going on, guys? Logan YuGiOh here. You guys killed the like goal for the Drytron combo video, so I figured I'd give you my version of Drytron 1.0. And we have a lot of extra content at the end of the video for you guys, talking about a whole bunch of different possibilities for the deck, so I highly recommend you stick around till the end. Anyway, guys, I don't want to preface this too much. It's Drytron's. It's the best deck of the format. Let's get into the list. What's going on, guys? Logan YuGiOh here, and today I've got my Drytron deck profile back-to-back, first place at locals and then topping a third one over the past 2 weeks. Absolutely love this deck. It's so powerful, in my opinion, the best deck, and this is version 1.0. And the reason I want to say that is that it is subject to change, and I also want to hear from you guys. What do you think we can do to make this list better? I want to hear from you in the comments. This is the one that I succeeded with most recently, but I think there's a lot of room for improvement, and that's why I'm asking you. So be sure to give it a try, see what you think, and I would like to hear from you. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into this list. I'm going to go through the basics real quick. We got the triple alpha Thuban, triple zeta, that's obvious, you have to do that. Double gamma, some people play one, most people nowadays are playing two. I'm falling in the play two camp for now. One of the delta, this is a different one. Some people are playing two of this. I'm choosing to play only one in the meantime. I'm not sure if that's going to change or not, because I do want to see more names more often. But in this particular version that I saw success with, I'm just doing one delta. Got triple the Diviner. I think that's a given. It's mandatory, guys. You got to be playing trips of this card. It's absolutely insane. Triple of the Herald of Orange Light and double of the Eva. So I want to give a quick shout out to Pack. I liked his list a lot, the one that he put together with that other nice gentleman. He was doing one Eva and only double Orange Light. Now, what my perspective is, yes, I get it, the odds are a little slim of seeing Orange Light and another fairy in hand. That's why we jacked up the fairy count. You're going to see with some of the other cards that we're choosing to play in the main deck. But I like the three. I think it adds a lot of utility, and sometimes you need to pitch it on your first turn. You still need to search out those two others. So I'm opting to play this lineup right now. Curious to hear your guys' thoughts. This is what I saw success with. Moving on from there, I am main decking triple Lancia. This is the other hand trap of choice to deal with the other most popular matchup, that being Shrine Brigade. It's also a bit of a locals take for dinosaurs, which are a bit of a concern, and the invoked matchup. It can be helpful, so I like having the main deck Lancia. Another one that is subject to change. I like the idea of main decking Drolls or Veilers, which are other level 1s. That can get you into that Moy Beta Fafnir. So again, this works as well because it's a fairy. You can search it off of Ben 10 at the end of your combo if you open a really good hand. And you also can, for example, in games 2 and 3, sometimes it's extremely clutch to search this card. Right now I'm maining it. I don't know if that's going to change, but that's where we're at right now. Cyber Angel lineup, 1 Ben 10, 1 Ida 10, 1 Natasha. I am very dead set on continuing to play these cards no matter what build. I want all three of these guys in there. They all perform. They all have a very important use. And seldom would I ever consider a Drytron deck complete, especially with the fairies, the diviners, if you weren't playing at least one of each of these cards. So that's my take on that one. 100% mandatory. Moving on from there, we got the one Ultimateness. Don't gotta say nothing about this. I'm playing Ultimateness in this particular build. I understand that some other people, again, shout out to Pack, are doing this particular strategy with the pre-preps and the Dawn and the Perfection, and we're gonna talk about that. But for me right now, that's not the way. Now let's move into the spells. We got easy stuff we can go through quick. Triple Nova. I'm playing double Fafnir. This is falling out of favor with players, but I enjoy the added consistency. That's something I think I can give merit to my deck for, is this is an inherently consistent build. This is probably going to be one of the more consistent Drytron lists that you'll find. Seldom will you ever see a dead hand. Of course, it's inevitable. You may see a dead hand at some point, but I think it's built in a way where it's difficult for that to happen. However, this is a card that is definitely subject to change. As of right now, I'm playing 2. That could change in the future. And I am also only playing 1 of the Medionis Drytron. This is an interesting one. I have a hot take on this one, right? So the most common argument to play 2 of this card, there's two sides to it. You want to ritual summon more often, and then if you get cosmic, you don't want to have to scoop. Now, here's the thing. With so many people opting to play 2 Medionis in the main deck, what are the odds, what are the chances that your opponent is going to bring in a Cosmic Cyclone against your Drytron deck? I think it's extremely low. I think that you only need to play one Meteonis and you can safely get away with it, thus reducing your deck by one more brick, and we play cards that recur it. Of course, we have Ida 10, and we have another one that we'll talk about in a moment here. But that's my logic on that. The card that I'm talking about in particular is I'm still playing Triple Preparation of Rites. Now, don't click off yet, okay? This goes back into the logic of maximized consistency as well as recurring that Meteonis. It comes up so often that I'll play my hand around this card, hold it as long as possible, to the point where I can add back that Meteonis and grab the Ida 10, and the combo goes so much further at that point, because you don't have to overlay your Ben 10 into the Beatrice. You actually get to keep it. You can possibly resolve it again later since you get that extra ritual summon. This card is very good. Now, some may say it's win more. I see it as an added consistency bonus, as well as a means to recur your ritual spell. So that's my take on that one. Curious to hear your thoughts. Obvious stuff here. Triple Cyber Emergency. It's Drytron names. I'm main decking Double Forbidden Droplets. This is a clean 40 card deck. However, I'm sure I could find room for the third if I had one. Alright, let's not worry about that. Moving on. One Called By and one Foolish Burial. I'm not playing the Instant Fusion. I don't have room in my current extra deck. I'm going to need you guys on that one too. Take a look. Let me know if you think there's room for it, but I don't see it. I'd rather have more utility. The Called By is sufficient. Alright, that's the main deck. Let's hop into the extra deck real quick. This is a big utility toolbox here. Some things I'm already thinking about changing, but let's just get into it. I'm only playing one Moy Beta Fafnir in version 1.0. I started out by playing 2. I bumped it down to 1 to make more room for flex spots, and I'm also leaning towards 2 again. So, as people wise up and know what to hit in the matchup, I find that having 2 might be the way to go. So you let me know what you think we can cut. One Lyralusk Assembled Nightingale and one Kingagashi Fuko, whatever you want to call it. I think this one is more mandatory than this one, so if anything, this could be the slot that becomes a second Moy Beta. That's where my thoughts are right now, but this is how I've been playing it, and having the utility of both of these cards, they both do come up, so I will say that much. I'm playing the one Downer Magician. Some people may disagree with this one, but don't sleep on a Format Zeus. Format Zeus can save your butt. One Beatrice, very nice card, absolutely legendary, essential, one of your main play enablers. And then the one Zeus, absolute given. We were just talking about that guy. Moving on from there, Link Monsters, one Link Karibo, one IP Masquerena, one Nightmare Phoenix, and one Unicorn. These are all staples. One Apollosa. See, some people cut this. That's just incorrect. You gotta play the Apo. And then I'm opting to play the Access Code. I think I'm committed on this one. I don't see myself shifting back to Boral Sword. Access Code is just too darn nice. Moving on from there, oh baby, the Synchros, the one Herald and the one Black Rose. It's going to be hard to get me to cut this card. It's come in clutch so many times. It punishes so many people. It's like a Zeus in your main phase 1. Me and my boy Aditya, shout out to him, that have been talking about this card, and I think I got to keep this joint in here. And finally, the one Nits to send off of the Diviner. Alright, moving on to the side deck now. This one you probably already saw in the combo tutorial, but we are still playing the triple Aqua Dolphin. You guys know the combo. If you haven't already seen the video, be sure to check it out. I'll leave a link in the description. Absolutely essential card. You can still end on a very formidable board with this, and you can get that knowledge out of your opponent's hand. It does cost you your normal summon, which means you're not putting Diviner on the field on that turn. However, the utility outweighs that cost, in my opinion. Curious to hear your thoughts, but this is the one that I'm opting to play that lets you get rid of those pesky hand traps. Moving on from there, we have to side this. This is mandatory. The Triple Droll. If you're not maining it, this should be in your side deck. Absolute given. Mirror Match and a bunch of other matchups. Moving on, I'm side decking the one copy of Draconids. This is one that I'm thinking about putting into the main. I'm not going to lie to you. Big Chung is here. He might be coming into the main. Hard to say, but as of right now, I have him in the sideboard. For going first, obviously, if you get drolled. Again, see the combo tutorial. Side decking Triple Mystic Mine. This has been so clutch. This has won me so many games. I love this card to death. I get it. It's a degenerate strategy, but it wins games. And like I said in Grim YuGiOh's deck profile, for the first Drytron list, we had win the remote duels. Don't apologize for winning when you win with Mystic Mine, okay? Moving on from there, we got the triple Twin Twisters for back removal, and on top of that, we're playing the one Harpy's Feather Duster and the one Red Reboot, bringing the list to a close. That is my take on Drytron. Drytron version 1.0, and I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts. Again, this is going to be a bit of a crowdsourced effort here. I need your feedback. You let me know what you think we could be doing different, and yeah, I'll be happy to hear out your opinions. Now, be sure to stick around because we're going to do a little bit of talking about alternative builds at the end of this video. Let's get to it. Alright guys, if you stuck around after the deck list, I'm glad that you're here. We're going to talk about some alternative choices to strategies for Drytron. So without further ado, let's hop into it. I talked about this a little bit during the deck profile, but I want to start off by discussing the Dawn, the regular Herald of Perfection, and then playing the Pre-Preparation of Rites package. So if you guys haven't seen Pac's deck profile, I highly recommend you go check it out. He did get to go 7-0 with this particular list. Now, let's talk about the downsides and the ups. Start off with the ups. Pre-Prep is an insane card. This is technically pot agreed in the way that it gives you an inherent +1 at almost no cost. It's very strong, and Herald of Perfection has almost the same interrupting capabilities as a Herald of Ultimateness, with the exception that it cannot negate summons, which can be relevant, and we'll talk about that in the downsides. Dawn of the Herald, also another insane card. It gives you a second ritual name to play that you can either search off Ida-10, search off Zeta, or of course search off your pre-prep if you see it. And it has the added benefit of adding back the fairy that you use for the Summon of the Perfection, which gives you more gas. So those are the plus sides. Let's talk about the downsides a little bit, okay guys? First and foremost, Herald of Perfection right here. He's a little weaker than Herald of Ultimateness, having only that 2800 butt. And you may think, oh, Logan, that's irrelevant, why do I care? There's a big reason why you may care. Since you can't negate inherent special summons, your opponent throws down a Zoo King Alpha and bops over this guy. You lost all your negates, okay? So that's a reason why you should care. Following up on that, the pre-preparation of Right, man, like, again, if you see it, it's amazing, but this can be the most dead top deck in the universe. If you're going first, and somehow your opponent's got that droplets, that Dark Ruler, and is able to clear your Herald to Perfection, and you rip this off the top, you're a sad boy, because you've already seen one of your two pieces, or both of these pieces. This card becomes 100% dead. So I get it, if you open it, it's nuts, and you can play more than 40 cards to lower the chances of seeing a piece and this in combination, but then you also lowered the chance of seeing this card, period, and that's honestly kind of a contradiction. So that's my take on this package. I am going to be playtesting with it, because I think it's got serious potential. I think it's cool, and I know what they said in the deck profile is that logistically it doesn't make a lot of sense, but in practice it is nuts, and I can't wait to give it a try. However, I am leaning against it in terms of actually taking it for competitive play. I think you're better off with a list more so to what we were playing. If you guys remember from when Ben 10 went to 1 and Union Carrier got banned, we had one of the first Drytron lists out there performing, and we were playing the Megaliths. These cards are very, very nice. I cannot praise them enough, the amount of gas that it gives you. Fool being able to recur your Ben 10, modify its level, overlay with that, what's her name, Diviner. It's awesome. You can leave this on field if you have a rough hand and have a Bethor on your opponent's turn. That's a form of interruption. Theoretically can play through that Droll. Ophiel can search out your Bethor. Now, I see people, I've seen lists that are doing double Fool and Ophiel. What is the point of that? I gotta rant for a second here. What is the point of that exactly? If your Fool's already in your graveyard, that means you can Meteonis it back no matter what. I cannot see a good reason to not be playing the Bethor. If you want to hard draw Fool, that's cool for you, but a good chunk of my main deck searches it, so why would I care? I like having that extra flex spot. It's still a ritual name. You search this off the Ophiel because it gives you follow-up in your hand. It fuels all your Drytrons in your graveyard. It's a quite important card if you're choosing to play this package. I have a few lists that play around with these guys. My first iteration of Drytrons played a super fat lineup of ritual monsters where I played all three of these, all of the Cyber Angels, and the Ultimateness, and it was good. It was good. It was a 45 card deck, but it was still good, and I really enjoyed it. And that's a testament to the tenacity of Drytrons themselves and the potential of both these cards and the Cyber Angels working in tandem. And the last card I want to take a second to talk about here is the Pot of Prosperities. Okay, guys, this card, I don't vibe with this card. If I want to be 100% honest, I love the added consistency you get from something like this. And you could easily say, take out the preps, put in the pots, and, you know, you up your consistency by another level because you're digging 6 cards deep. 100% agree with that fact. You are right, sir. Good for you. But what about that cost? What about that cost? You're either going 3 cards deep or you're going 6 cards deep. I don't think any Drytron player is going to go 6 cards deep, okay? That's 6 utility slots taken out of your extra. You tell me, what 6 cards can you banish from your extra deck that you're not going to miss in a game? It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. You don't know what you're going to need when the circumstance arises. The half damage is another thing that's a bit of a minor downside, and only digging 3 cards deep, man, I like it. But it's just a glorified pot of duality with such a high cost, I just cannot rationalize it. That's my opinion on this front. I'm curious to hear your case for this card, but as of right now, I'm choosing not to play it in this Drytron list. Anyway, guys, that is my quick hot take session about these other Drytron options. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment down below, and subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh content. Join the Twitch stream, guys. That's where most of the good stuff happens. Logan JYA signing off. Have a great day.